The enigma of profound, yet impossible connections. Human experience is replete with moments of profound connection, encounters that defy ordinary explanation. It often begins with an electrifying recognition, a feeling that two souls have met before their minds could even register the presence, an extraordinary connection, as if their soul recognized them before the mind. This is not merely infatuation, but a deep resonance, a sense of destiny that permeates the very fabric of one's being. Yet, a painful paradox frequently accompanies these intense bonds. Despite the undeniable connection, the relationship proves unsustainable. Circumstances, timing, or inherent incompatibilities often conspire to prevent a lasting union, leaving individuals grappling with a profound question: why the universe sends you someone you can't be with? To navigate this perplexing terrain, the insights of Carl Jung, a pioneering figure in depth psychology, offer a unique and illuminating framework. Jung's work delves into the hidden landscapes of the human mind, proposing that such attractions are frequently less about the external individual and more about the intricate dynamics of our inner world. His theories extend beyond simplistic cause and effect explanations, providing a richer, more purposeful understanding of life's intricate patterns and the deeper meaning embedded within seemingly painful experiences. The central inquiry becomes clear. What message is the universe conveying when it brings an individual into our lives with whom we feel an intense connection, yet are unable to sustain a conventional relationship? Is there concealed significance, a profound objective behind the longing and discomfort? As suggested by the original exploration of this topic, these are not ordinary relationships. These are loves that do not take root, but awaken. They change us forever, even if they were only for a moment. These are encounters meant to disarm you, not to soothe you. This perspective suggests that the impossibility of such a relationship is not a flaw or a failure, but rather an inherent feature designed to facilitate a specific type of inner transformation that might not be achievable through conventional, enduring partnerships. The pain associated with these connections, therefore, is not a sign of misfortune, but a deliberate mechanism for awakening, prompting a reevaluation of one's internal state. Synchronicity, the universe's meaningful coincidences. Carl Jung introduced the concept of synchronicity as a fundamental principle governing the universe, defining it as an acausal connecting principle whereby internal psychological events are linked to external world events by meaningful coincidences rather than causal chains. This concept posits that certain events occur simultaneously in a way that feels deeply connected and meaningful, without any direct cause and effect relationship. A classic illustration of this phenomenon is Jung's own experience with a patient who dreamt of a golden scarab beetle, only for a real scarab beetle, a rose chafer, to appear at Jung's consulting room window at that very moment, creating a profound and non-causal link between the inner and outer worlds. Applying the principle of synchronicity to relationships, it becomes apparent that these impossible partners often arrive at pivotal junctures in an individual's life, not by random chance, but as a meaningful coincidence. The original Polish video highlights this, stating, Carl Jung called this synchronicity a moment that was meant to happen. These encounters are not mere accidents. They are chances or patterns of meaning that transcend traditional logical frameworks. The universe, or a deeper aspect of reality, appears to orchestrate these meetings to align precisely with an individual's psychological state or inner developmental needs. Jung posited that the universe possesses a pattern-making tendency that emerged as a fundamental property of reality, even preceding the formation of light, matter, and the established laws of physics. These synchronistic phenomena, particularly in relationships, reveal the interconnectedness of all parts into an emergent whole. This suggests a profoundly ecological model of existence, where every element is intricately linked and the arrival of an impossible partner serves as a deliberate, albeit non-causal, signal from this interconnected reality. This signal's purpose is to draw attention to an internal psychological state or an imperative for transformation, indicating that the universe is not merely a passive observer, but an active communicator, guiding one's journey through these significant encounters. Understanding synchronicity requires a departure from the Western prejudice for causality, which insists that every event must have a direct cause. Jung, influenced by Eastern philosophies, considered coincidences as a reliable basis of the world rather than causality. If these profound relationship encounters are indeed synchronistic, they fundamentally challenge our ingrained scientific worldview that demands a direct cause for every effect. This implies that truly comprehending these relationships necessitates a shift in our basic perception of reality, moving beyond linear cause and effect to embrace a more holistic, pattern-based understanding of life's intricate fabric. The perceived impossibility of these relationships may, in fact, stem from our limited causal understanding, urging us to adopt a broader, more interconnected perspective on the unfolding of life's meaningful patterns. Jung categorized synchronicity into three main types, each illustrating different ways meaningful coincidences manifest in our lives, particularly in the context of relationships. Simultaneous events. Description: an inner psychological state aligns with an external event. Example in relationships: thinking intensely about a specific person, then unexpectedly encountering them or receiving a call from them shortly thereafter. Precognitive visions or dreams. Description: seeing something in a dream or vision before it happens in waking life. Example in relationships: dreaming of a specific type of partner or particular relational dynamic, and later encountering an individual who embodies that vision. Symbolic patterns over time. Description: a series of related signs or symbols appearing repeatedly in a way that carries deep personal significance. Example in relationships: constantly encountering a specific theme, number, or archetypal figure in different interactions or life events when making a major life decision about a relationship. These classifications, explicitly outlined in Jung's work, provide a structured way to identify and interpret the universe's communications. By recognizing these patterns, individuals can begin to discern the deeper messages embedded within their seemingly random encounters. The mirror effect, projection, and the unconscious. A cornerstone of Jungian psychology is the concept of psychological projection, a process through which individuals unconsciously attribute their own inner qualities, whether acknowledged or unacknowledged, onto others. This mechanism explains why we are often drawn to others because they seem to possess qualities we lack or haven't acknowledged within ourselves. Initially, this projection can imbue the other person with an almost magical or idealized quality. In essence, individuals often fall in love with an internal image or imago rather than the authentic person standing before them. Central to understanding projection is the concept of the shadow. The shadow represents the dark side of our personality, encompassing all the qualities, impulses, and emotions that we deny, suppress, or deem unacceptable within ourselves. These repressed aspects can be conventionally negative, such as rage, envy, or selfishness, but they can also be positive traits, like creativity or the striving for power, that have been disowned. When an individual encounters someone who openly expresses traits hidden within their own shadow, a powerful attraction can ignite. This phenomenon is encapsulated in the observation that what you can't stand in your partner is a reflection of something in you. Conversely, intense admiration for another can also be a projection of a suppressed positive quality within oneself. The unattainable partner, in this context, serves as a potent mirror, revealing what they awaken in you. This aligns with Jung's profound statement: to Chego and I's acceptujmi w sobi, raka los. What we do not accept in ourselves returns as fate. This suggests that the universe, through these challenging encounters, brings individuals who embody these unintegrated aspects, compelling a confrontation with what has been repressed. Beyond the shadow, Jung introduced the archetypes of the Anima and Animus. The Anima represents the unconscious feminine side in men, while the Animus embodies the unconscious masculine side in women. These are not abstract concepts, but active inner images profoundly shaped by early experiences, particularly relationships with parents, which significantly influence who an individual finds attractive. Individuals frequently find themselves drawn to partners who fit their inner anima/animus template. For man, the anima carries the archetypal impulse of desire and an endless longing for fulfillment, while for a woman, the animus brings form, structure, and prohibition. The inherent danger in this dynamic is idealization, falling in love with projection rather than the real person. The initial intense connection is often with this powerful archetypal projection, not the unique individual themselves. The journey of projection in relationships is a dynamic process, often moving through distinct stages. 1. Idealization, initial attraction. Description, unconsciously attributing desired qualities from the shadow, anima/animus, onto the partner. Key dynamics, the partner appears magical, idealized, or a missing piece. This stage is driven by the unconscious longing for wholeness. 2. Disappointment, reality sets in. Description, projections inevitably fade as the real person emerges, revealing imperfections and differences. Key dynamics, the realization that the partner cannot excellently fill one's inner gaps leads to disillusionment. This is a critical turning point. 3. Negative projection, conflict/withdrawal. Description, unacknowledged negative shadow aspects are projected onto the partner, often leading to intense conflict or desire to withdraw. Key dynamics, the initial intense attraction can transform into strong dislike or resentment as previously idealized traits are now seen as flaws. 4. Integration, self-awareness. Description, consciously withdrawing projections, recognizing inner qualities, both positive and negative, as one's own. Key dynamics, this process involves claiming the unintegrated bit of your psyche instead of exporting it. It leads to a clearer perception of both self and other, fostering psychological integration. As time progresses, the initial projection inevitably dissolves, and the authentic individual begins to emerge, often leading to a period of disappointment. This disappointment, however, is not a failure of the relationship, but a necessary catalyst for deeper self-discovery. It shatters the initial illusion, compelling the individual to confront the reality that the desired qualities or fear flaws are internal, residing within their own psyche, rather than being external attributes to the partner. This painful dissolution of the initial romantic spell is precisely the disarming process mentioned in the context of awakening, redirecting focus from the external partner to the internal psychological landscape, thereby initiating the crucial process of reclaiming projected aspects of the self. The destruction of these positive illusions frequently results in projection of negative aspects of one's inner imago onto the partner. This explains why an intense initial attraction can sometimes devolve into equally intense dislike or recurrent conflict. True connection, and indeed true self-discovery, can only begin when individuals move beyond these projections and actively withdraw projections through consciousness of your complexes. This process is fundamentally about claiming the unintegrated bit of your psyche instead of exporting it, fostering a more authentic and integrated sense of self. Intimate relationships, in this Jungian view, function as an alchemical vase for encountering the unknown within yourself, and a transformative vessel where your partner mirrors unknown aspect of you. This elevates relationships beyond mere companionship, positioning them as fundamental tools for self-discovery and individuation. The other serves as a means to encounter the self, making the ultimate purpose of these intense, yet unsustainable, connections not the achievement of a lasting external bond, but rather a profound internal transformation, revealing and integrating hidden parts of the psyche. The path to wholeness. Individuation through relational pain. Jung's concept of individuation describes a lifelong process of integrating the conscious with the unconscious for the purpose of realizing or fulfilling one's talents and potentialities. It is a journey of becoming who one really is, a path that involves a continuous interplay and synthesis of opposites within the psyche, such as conscious and unconscious, light and shadow. A core tenet of Jungian thought, echoed in the original video, is a profound statement. To Chego and Isaac Septuagmi W. Sobi, Raka Jako Los. What we do not accept in ourselves returns as fate. This directly links to the concept of projection. Challenging relationships, particularly those that are intensely felt but ultimately unsustainable, are not random misfortunes but serve as powerful catalysts for growth. They represent a crisis that can shatter normal ego identifications, compelling individuals to confront the very aspects of themselves they have repressed or disowned. The discomfort and pain experienced in these connections are not punitive, but serve as signals that you are ready to wake up and that you needed a mirror that would show you your inner self. The shattering emotional power of these crises effectively breaks down our ego identification, causing us to question our sense of self and our life's meaning. This experience, often described as an ego death, is crucial for awakening to a more expansive way of being. The pain associated with the fading of projections, as discussed in the previous chapter, is precisely what fuels the individuation process. It forces individuals to see and claim the unintegrated bit of your psyche instead of exporting it. This necessary ego death, a surrender to the ego's dominion, is not an accidental byproduct, but an essential mechanism for psychological transformation. Without this dissolution of ego identification, individuals risk remaining one-sided, unable to integrate their shadow aspects or progress toward wholeness. The impossible nature of these relationships, by their very inability to last, compels this necessary breakdown, clearing the path for deeper self-awareness and the integration of unconscious elements fundamental to individuation. This transformative process often involves confronting complexes, feeling tone complexes of ideas that are strongly accentuated emotionally and possess the capacity to usurp power from the ego. Relationships, particularly those marked by intense emotional charge, frequently activate these complexes, leading to strong, out-of-proportion effects. These disproportionate emotional reactions are, in fact, the doorway to knowing yourself more deeply. If complexes are activated by these relationships, and their activation results in pain and a disturbed state of consciousness, then the fundamental purpose of these impossible relationships is to bring these unconscious, autonomous complexes into conscious awareness. The pain serves as a signal that these complexes are active and require attention, effectively functioning as a form of self-therapy. These relationships thus act as powerful, albeit painful, diagnostic and therapeutic agents, forcing the confrontation and integration of deep-seated psychological complexes that hinder an individual's journey toward wholeness. Practical steps for integrating these profound lessons and withdrawing projections are crucial. Shadow work, the process of reclaiming and integrating these lost parts of ourselves, is vital. It involves becoming conscious of how our wounds shape our relationships, Self-reflection is encouraged, particularly by pay attention to recurring symbols and trust your intuition. Journaling can be an invaluable tool to uncover deeper connections over time. The ultimate aim is not to fix the other person, but to differentiate internal factors that shape your experience from the external realities that triggered perceptions. This leads to greater psychological integration and maturity, fostering a more complete and authentic self. The enduring gift beyond the relationships form. The conventional understanding of relationships often labels those that do not endure as failures. However, from a Jungian perspective, these intense, yet ultimately unsustainable, connections are profound successes in a deeper, more significant sense. They are not intended to establish a permanent bond, but to awaken. The true gift bestowed by these experiences is not the lasting presence of the individual, but the profound inner transformation they catalyze. They leave one more true to yourself, having served their deeper purpose. This represents a radical redefinition of love and success in relationships. If the purpose is awakening and transformation, then a relationship that ends, yet facilitate profound self-realization, is a success from a Jungian viewpoint, even if it does not meet conventional metrics of relational longevity. Love, in this context, transcends a mere bond. It becomes a mediator, circulating energy both outwardly and inwardly. The failure of an impossible relationship to last is, in fact, its profound success in fulfilling its deeper purpose, to serve as a powerful catalyst for individual psychological and spiritual awakening, fundamentally redefining what a successful connection truly entails. These transformative experiences lead to a multitude of lasting impacts, including greater internal strength, improved relationships, even if not with a specific individual, a clearer perception of yourself, and enhanced psychological integration and maturity. They equip individuals to recognize triggers as opportunities for self-awareness and take responsibility for their emotions. A process of mutual individuation can unfold, where both individuals are transformed by the transformative reaction of love. As Jung famously stated, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Understanding these complex dynamics prepares individuals for healthier, more conscious future relationships. By consciously withdrawing projections, one can relate to others as they truly are, rather than through a distorted lens of inner images. This journey of self-discovery is continuous. Individuation can be seen as a process that is never fully completed. Every encounter, every challenge, offers a new opportunity for growth and deeper understanding. The ultimate objective is wholeness, which is the product of an intrapsychic process which depends essentially on the relation of one individual to another. The personal pain and growth experienced through impossible relationships are not isolated events, but contribute to a larger, interconnected web of psychological evolution. Jung's profoundly ecological model of the phenomena in relation to synchronicity suggests that all parts are interconnected. If individuation, a deeply personal process, is fundamentally relational and interconnected, then the transformation of an individual through these impossible relationships has ripple effects beyond the self. It contributes to a broader collective consciousness and a more integrated human experience, serving an ecological function in the universe's pattern-making tendency, embracing the unfolding journey. The profound encounters with individuals with whom one cannot ultimately be, though often painful, are revealed through a Jungian lens to be purposeful and transformative. These connections arrive synchronistically, serving as meaningful coincidences orchestrated by a deeper, interconnected reality. They function as mirrors, reflecting unconscious projections of the shadow and the anima/animus, compelling a confrontation with unintegrated aspects of the self. Ultimately, these relationships serve as catalysts for the lifelong process of individuation, driving individuals toward greater wholeness and self-realization through necessary experiences of pain and disappointment. The understanding that what hurts can have meaning empowers individuals to view these challenging experiences not as arbitrary suffering, but as integral steps on a profound journey of self-discovery. One is not merely a victim of circumstance, but an active participant in a cosmic dance of psychological evolution. Every encounter, particularly the intensely challenging ones, is an invitation to deeper self-awareness and the integration of one's full psychological landscape. As Jung noted, love puts one in a mood to risk everything, and these relationships, though fraught with risk and pain, are essential for true growth. Embracing their complexity, trusting the underlying process, and continuing to explore the rich inner landscapes revealed by these powerful connections allows for a deeper, more meaningful engagement with life's unfolding journey.